Chinese city on the moon coming soon. It goes by the ILRS, which means International Lunar Research Station. And now there's a lot of rockets that are going to be utilized for this. Instead of the Orion, which is utilized for the Artemis program, they use the Chang'e models. Now the Chang'e 7 is going to be doing a lot of survey work. Chang'e 8 is tasked with, by the programs that I've been mentioning, for the actual landing of their cosmonauts. Now this is a very expansive project. When I say that the Chinese program is designed to build a lunar city, they've got big plans. In fact, one of the pieces of information I got on how much they're willing to invest in this, or they talk about investing, is $66 trillion. So just put that into your mind. That's the budget they're saying they're willing to spend or get partners to spend with them in order to make this a sustainable base / city. How are they going to construct it? Well, one of the focus points they have right now, and they are working on it with simulated regolith or lunar dust, is to build lunar bricks. That's right. They're trying to build bricks out of moon dust. Now, this is a very complicated system, and it can possibly have applications here on Earth. But right now, that's right, they are trying to find ways to do, obviously, one methodology that many are quite in tune with is 3D printing on the moon using regolith, which is space dust. Now, this is a double-edged sword because space dust is sharp. Think of blades, knives. There is no erosion like we have here on Earth. So this is highly dangerous material. Yet, they are planning to utilize it as part of their shielding and structures on the moon. So there is quite a bit that's going to be taking place. You're going to see a number of launches from China in order to bring their robots, because unlike a lot that is organized from the Artemis program, which focuses more on putting humans as the individuals involved in the construction project, actually the ILRS is mostly designed to be doing it with robotics. So again, advancement in robotics is key. 3D printing is key. Being able to use local resources is key. Why? Here are some key components that all these habitats on the moon are requiring. 1, shielding from solar radiation. 2, they need shielding from micrometeorites. Hence, a reason why you have to go beyond just the standard structures we would build on the moon to putting regolith over top. Think of it as that shielding. Then after that, where are they going to build it? South Pole. Why? Water. Why is it important? Think about it. You get water, you get oxygen, you get fuel. All of these things are key elements that have to be mined. On top of that, all this that you've heard about just jettisoning waste into space, how much do you think human waste is valued at on the moon? Very highly, because if you're going to have any agriculture, that dust has to be converted into soil. It is not soil until you got microbes, until you've got it living. So everything that you have that can bring in biological mass is key. So not only do they have to build the structures, they've also got to build in the electrical system. This is another reason why you notice that edge, that really interesting edge where it's the dark and the light. Here's some things to take in consideration when it comes to location. You want the dark because that's where the water is. But you need the light in order to get your energy. If you can have your structure or your base maximizing both, see the value? So this is really coming down to a lot of practical science because it can't just be theoretical. This has to work. So both countries are right now field testing, sometimes live testing, For instance, the Artemis II launch and flyby, that was field testing a lot of systems in order to make sure that the amount of failure is minimized. And that is highly risky. Now for the space program, the ILRS, much of their focus is on robotics. So naturally, that shows that there's going to be a lot of work into robotic systems. Whereas the Artemis methodology is mostly a hybrid between robotics and, obviously, technology. By the way, there's a great deal of interesting developments that will have practical applications here on Earth. We'll be talking about that in the future. But right now, also as a secondary component, just take in consideration the timelines. The timelines have to be quick. Both for the US and China, there's a race between the two. 2030 is a key date for China. Chang'e 8 is scheduled to make that landing with humans. Now the Artemis 4 is scheduled for 2028 for them to bring astronauts to the moon. Both are trying to get that human footprint on the moon, but beyond that, to show that they can get sustainable habitation. And sustainable habitation is a lot more involved than the Apollo program, which was groundbreaking and should never be confused as being something that is not of any value. Both of these space programs are using the knowledge that was based from that. In fact, for China, the brick construction methods that they are actually trying to utilize and perfect right now, much of that is based off of what? The lunar dust, the moon rocks that were collected in the Apollo program, or any other materials that have been collected by either China or other countries, to be able to figure out how to build bricks, how to build structures, how to utilize that material in 3D printing. So these are just few of the very fascinating developments that are taking place, and it's taking place soon. Stay with me. Jason Expeditions.